Don't get me wrong, but you know. I see Mitchell.
Good morning. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to our Commissioners Board meeting for October the 3rd. We are in person and also broadcasting live via Microsoft Teams live event. We're also on BCTV as well as the county's Facebook and YouTube live sites. With that, we'll call the meeting to order with a moment of silence followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'll recognize my executive assistant, Anne Marie Grill, to read the public comment policy. Oh, is Julian reading it? Okay. I will recognize Julian Calazzo, our intern, to read the public comment policy.
Thank you, Commissioner. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by the limitations of the platform being used. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. The time period may be extended by the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Julian. And since you're front and center right now, I want to recognize two individuals that have joined the meeting. Many of you are aware we've had Julian in our meetings before. In fact, Julian even joined me on WEEU, I guess, over a month ago, right at the beginning on a feedback show with Bill Saunders. But Julian is part of the Governor Mifflin School District, and he is part of their internship program. And we have two people from the district that I'd like to recognize. If you'd stand up as I call your name, Christy Bonanno, please stand, and Philip Harris. Remain standing. Christy Bonanno is in charge of internship and the School to Work program coordinator for Governor Mifflin High School. And Philip Harris is in charge of he is the work-based education coordinator for Berks Career and Technology Center. So we have a team here, one from the Technology Center, one from Governor Mifflin. And I can tell you we've very much enjoyed working with Julian. His last day in the internship, and the internship's been with all three commissioners, Commissioner Santoni, Commissioner Rivera, who is online today, and myself. He's been a joy to work with. We kind of knew that in advance. He had some contacts inside here that told us about him. And we also heard about prior internships. Some of those folks, Alexa in particular, reached out to me and said, you got to bring this guy on for internship. So glad to have you. I have to add one additional piece of information. Philip Harris has another connection to the county. He is the father of Derek Harris, who works in our Community and Economic Development Department with Pam Mennett. And I wouldn't have known that, but great to have you. And thank you, Julian. Are there any additions or corrections for the September 26, 2024 meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have an executive session October the 2nd, yesterday, dealing with personnel, contracts, real estate, and potential litigation. There's no public comment on agenda items in person, and Nothing online. So we will move right into our agenda. Item 1, authorizing under that budget department, adopt a resolution authorizing 2024 budget transfers in the amount of $268,744 and 2024 appropriations in the amount of $1,752,499 per listing dated September the 27th of 2024. Under Human Resources, item A, adopt a resolution authorizing Human Resources recommendations dated October the 3rd of 2024. There's several items listed. Item 1, authorize the promotion of Kimberly Feast from Deputy Director to Executive Director, Department of Agriculture. Item 2, authorize the promotion of John Santoro from per diem tip staff to judicial coordinator in court administration. Item 3, authorize the transfer of Cole Dietrich from judicial coordinator to administrative assistant in court administration. Item 4, authorize the appointment of Barbara Jakubik to interim CYS administrator, Children and Youth Services. Item 5, authorize the appointment of Elizabeth Monick to interim CYS administrator. Item 6, authorize the appointment of Kelsey Glass to interim manager of intake, Children and Youth Services. There's several items listed under the commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution ratifying, confirming, and approving Robert Patrizio Jr., Chief Financial Officer's execution of the self-insurance application certification and attestation form on behalf of the County of Berks for the Self-Insured Workers' Compensation Program. Is Pam on, do you know?
Yes.
Okay. Item B is adopt a resolution approving an exemption from county real estate taxes on the value of certain improvements to property located at 2251 Lancaster Pike, Cumru Township, in accordance with Act 76 of 1977, known as the LRTA, and subject to conditions of the Berks County LRTA policy as set forth in resolution number 332-23. I've asked Pam Mennett, who is our Director of Community and Economic Development and is available virtually, to explain what this is about and provide a little bit more background. Pam?
Thank you, Commissioner. Hopefully I can be heard.
Yes, you're loud and clear.
So, ironically, I'm here today from an event this morning called Building the Boroughs. And what we've done is brought together our Planning Commission, our Community Economic Development team, and various economic development to talk about redevelopment within our boroughs and townships. This particular LRTA, which is going to take place in Cumru Township, the property is located on the old Route 20 and very challenged for development when the bypass occurred. One of the things we recognize is that at various points in time, we're going to need additional tools that we can actually fit our municipality to obtain development activity in the county. And look, has been a tool is available to them to utilize.
I hate to interrupt. You're breaking up, Pam. You're breaking up. My suggestion is drop your video and just go with the audio. I don't think there's a strong enough connection. And we have a slide up with your name and title.
Okay. How about now?
Go ahead and try it.
Okay. How about now?
No, you're breaking up. Why don't you, Anne Marie, see if you can work to have her call in, and when I get to the end of the agenda, I'll have her give the explanation, because I do think it's important. It's not just, hey, somebody wanted to LRTA and we're going to do a LRTA. It's an important piece, and all the commissioners weighed in on this as well. Okay. I apologize to the public if technical difficulties, but that's the nature of trying to bring somebody in virtually. I will continue and I will try to get this via phone by the end of the agenda. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the Berks County Adult Probation Office Grant in Aid application for fiscal year 2024-2025 to the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, and further authorizing the chair to execute all award notifications. The grant is 100% reimbursed by the state. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the memorandum of understanding between the City of Reading and the County of Berks for the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant. The City of Reading will serve as the fiscal agent for the grant and agrees to allocate $12,573.40 of the grant funding to Berks County law enforcement departments to be used in year 2025 to support the City of Reading and the County of Berks. Item 2, a motion to authorize the execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the contract agenda listing dated September the 23rd of 2024. There are a total of 4 contracts, 1 with the Area Agency on Aging, 2 with Children and Youth Services, and 1 with Parks and Rec. Item 3, a motion to authorize execution of the payments and electronic transfers for the week ending September 27th of 2024. And item 4, a motion to authorize execution of employee payroll disbursements dated October the 8th of 2024. Carl, have we had any success? Not yet? Okay, we will skip that. Wait a minute. She just came on. Pam, are you there?
Can you hear me
Pam?
now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's good.
So, thank you.
Just go ahead and start
Commissioner.
over.
Sure. LRTA is a tax abatement program, and it is a tool that is available to municipalities to help them attract redevelopment to the area. And in fact, this morning, I am at the Building the Boroughs event that we are holding to talk to municipalities about redevelopment tools that are available to them. This happens to be one of them. So Comeru Township did pass an ordinance which allowed the property to participate in the LRTA tax exemption program. And the county several months ago does not automatically approve LRTAs, but we do take a look at the merits of the LRTA, the desire of the municipality, and also the importance of the economic impact of the project. So this is a tool for us to support municipalities as they're trying to attract new business and, most importantly, redevelopment into their communities. This property is along the old 222 corridor, which was negatively impacted when the bypass went through. It's been difficult to attract some new investment into that area. And this is one of those ways that we are supporting the township in being able to do that. This is a standard 10-year LRTA, so 10% per year will be added to the base assessment. We continue to collect the assessed value of the property and those taxes. But what we're doing is just doing an incremental increase on the increased assessment, and that's what will be coming into the county and to the municipality during this period of time.
Thank you very much, Pam. This is one of a handful, actually, it's one of very few programs that I am behind 100%. A lot of other tax abatement programs require the school district or the township or the municipality to give up dollars. TIF is probably the most common tax increment financing. That's when a project like a Cabela's needs roads, sewer, etc. Exeter Commons is another example, more recent. And in that case, all of the taxes in that zone, normally for about a 20-year period, and normally about 80% of those dollars for that 20%, that 20-year period, all go to pay off a bond that did those improvements. In this particular case, one, only the municipality can create a LERTA district. The county can't create it, the school district can't create it, only the municipality. The school district and the county vote on whether or not they will participate. The county, by this vote, is voting to participate. But here's the key. A business that is in a LERTA gets no benefit unless they improve the property. So if they buy a lot or they buy an existing building, they must continue to pay the taxes that are assessed on that lot or that building. If they come in and they do a multi-million-dollar improvement, the tax benefit is only on the improvement. So when that project is finished, year one, they pay no new taxes. Year two, it's 10%. And by year 11, they're at 100%. How important is this? I think it was last week, I was talking to Fred Levering, the mayor of Wyomissing, about LERTA. He was sharing some blowback that he was receiving about discussions on LERTA. And I took him to the Tulpehocken School District website. And I would encourage anyone, if you go and you just Google Tulpehocken School District tax cut or LERTA and tax cut. And you will find a statement from the school district. They've cut taxes, and I don't have it in front of me. It's either 7 years in a row or 8 years in a row. And they specifically cite the warehouse development in Tulpehocken School District along I-78. Well, that was launched with a LERTA. And that was done through the county of Berks and the Berks County Industrial Development Authority at Berks Park 78. Those projects, I can tell you, PetSmart and Dollar General were the first two big ones. They would not have sited there without the LERTA. They made it very clear we were down to one of two sites. Whatever site gave the LERTA is where they were going to go. And we did that, and it was the right thing to do. It doesn't take any money from anybody else. The benefit comes from the investment the developer makes on that property. Our LERTA policy, and she referred to this, Pam made a point, is a simple 10-year LERTA. Why is that important? There have been a few other oddball LERTAs put together in this county, and I'm guessing in some other counties that have caused confusion, have ended up in litigation and in the courts, and we don't want that. The simple is 10 years, 10% a year, and that's how everybody participates. The municipality, the county, and the school district. No side agreements. We have one, and I'm not mentioning it, had side agreements. Those side agreements ended up in court. They could end up in court again. That thing has been going on almost since I took office. So it's just very simple. Number two, we limit our LERTA to commercial. We are not using the LERTA for the purpose of residential. Could somebody come to us and ask? They could ask, but our policy that we have in place that outlines a simple LERTA is commercial only. So we don't do these very often. And when we do, I think it's important that we make sure people understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, and that it is in the best interest of the county. It's in the best interest of Cumru Township. And I believe that's Governor Mifflin School District along Old 22 there. And anyone that's familiar with that area, they were hammered when the Park Road extension and 222 bypassed that area. I made a lot of comments. Anything you want to add, Commissioner Santoni?
I think you explained it very well. Thank you. I just also want to commend the Cumru Township Board of Commissioners for their efforts to create economic development. I know that there's an impetus there that they're working on getting that corridor developed, and I know that they've been working very hard. So I'm glad that the county was able to provide some assistance to that. Thank you.
Any comment, Commissioner Rivera?
No, thank you.
Okay. Pam, thank you for all that you do. Pam leads the effort on economic development, so she pulled all the data together. She worked with the township, looked at the project, shared it with the commissioners, explained why she felt this was the right kind of project. I really appreciate having her leading our economic development efforts here for the county of Berks. So thank you, Pam.
Thank you,
With that,
Commissioner.
You're very welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion is carried. Thank you very much. I have to comment, we normally have 2 row officers with us on a pretty consistent basis. We have 4 today. I think that's a good thing. So I want to welcome Fred Sheeler, our, I was going to say Register of Wills, our Recorder of Deeds, and Jonathan J.D. Del Calo, our Prothonotary. Thank you for being here. But we're going to move to reports of our Treasurer and Controller, and we'll start with our County Treasurer, Mitch Darcourt. Mitch.
Thank you, Commissioner Leimbach. Today, we have an opening balance of $257,120,497.42. We have a balance declare of $3,031,866.47, leaving us with a balance of $254,088,630.95. Thank you, Commissioner. That is all.
Thank you very much, Mitch. And now our County Controller, Joe Rutterow. Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the week ending 10/3/2024, we have a total accounts payable of $7,135,229.38. We have a payroll of $1,619.99 for a total cash disbursement of $136,849.37. The payroll is an interim payroll. That's why that number is lower than normal. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move to our Deputy Chief Operations Officer, Larry Medaglia.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioners. I wanted to just say thank you for the action you took this morning regarding our CYS leadership and the interim appointments. And also related to CYS, I just wanted to acknowledge the retirement of our administrator, Brandy Nider. Brandy has been with the county for over 30 years. She served the last 5 as the administrator, and we want to wish her well in her retirement. And that is all I have. Thank you.
When's her last day? I know
her last day is Tuesday the 8th, so next Tuesday.
It was coming up.
Yes. So thank you.
With that, we're at Commissioners' reports. Any report from, I see I have a note here. No comments from Commissioner Rivera. So we will move right to Commissioner Dante Santoni.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very quickly, I too want to wish our outgoing CYS Administrator, Brandy Nider, a well-deserved retirement. Wish her the very best. And also want to welcome our educators from the Governor Mifflin School District who have an outstanding star in Julian Colazzo, our intern for the year, for this season, for this school year. He actually joined me in our visit to see the governor last week, so he's had quite an experience here, and I wish him the very best. I know you're going to be here for a little bit longer, but hopefully you'll stop back when you're on your way. Welcome to all of our row officers. I always get a little nervous when there's people coming in that we don't usually see, in case there's a problem, but hopefully not. So welcome. And just a couple of events that are coming up that I want to note. Couple job fairs in the very near future. Connections Work, the organization that we hear from a lot, that very connected here to the county, are having their career fair Connections in Action on October the 7th from 9 to 12 at the Doubletree. So if you are or have been involved with the justice system, this career fair is for you. PA Career Link is also having a job fair at the Doubletree as well. on the 14th of October, Columbus Day, from 1 to 5. So job seekers should check out their websites and get there if they can. Let me get the dates right here. I'm sorry. On Monday, October 7th, in conjunction with the Berks County Bar Association, is an event called Trust in Our Elections, a community conversation. It's going to be held at Alvernia University from 6 to 7:30. Former Federal Circuit Court Judge Tom Vanatsky, Policy Director from the Department of State, Mike McDonald, will be there. The moderator is Dr. Victoria Williams, Political Science Professor at Alvernia. It's at the Alvernia Plex on the campus of Alvernia University. Representing the county is our very own Cody Kaufman. He's going to be on the panel, and I'm sure that he'll do a terrific job representing us. I plan on stopping by there for a little bit to watch. And the final item coming up also on Monday, October the 7th at 7 p.m. In conjunction with the Jewish Federation of Reading is an event, an anniversary, a sad anniversary of Monday, October the 7th at 7 o'clock to remember last October 7th. It's in conjunction with Shabbat Lubavitch of Reading, the Jewish Federation of Reading Berks, Reform Congregation, Oheb Shalom, and Kesher Zion Synagogue, and it's going to be at 2320 Hampton Boulevard in Northeast Reading as a remembrance of that day. So that's all I have at this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Santoni. Several items. I also want to offer my thanks for many years of service to Brandy Neidert with our Children and Youth Services. Wish her the best in the next chapter of her life, starting next week. And I also want to welcome Barb Jakubik, Liz Monick, and Kelsey Glass. If you noticed, all of them are stepping into interim roles. In some cases, I think it's the director that we are out right now. So the director, we are advertising, and we'll be going through that process. Taking the interim step provides consistency and stability in the department. That's important in any department, but especially in Children and Youth Services, the critical service that they provide to the community. So I really appreciate each of them stepping up. If there's any question, we have a policy in place with HR that when we ask someone and they accept to step up in an interim role, they get a 10% bump in their pay. That's consistent across the board. And so for those that might be interested how that works, that's exactly how that works. And we're thrilled to have those individuals stepping into that role. On a permanent level, I want to congratulate Kim Fees for taking on the role of Director of the Department of Ag, and wish Emily Wangolo, who has resigned to pursue other career pursuits, wish her the very best. Also want to note, I don't know if I'll make it yet tonight, but there's a retirement party here in Berks County. I won't say where it is because I'll get accused of inviting people that weren't invited. What's that? Oh, then I won't say it. You sure? Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, forget it. Very good point. I'll say something next week about that. Okay.
Do we have editing capabilities?
Fortunately, I didn't start with the name. This is proof of why nobody is good enough to do things by themselves. It takes a team of people, and with me, it takes even a bigger team. So but here's the good news. I can read faces. And there were multiple faces that I could see that I was in trouble, and I stopped. So, you know what it is? It's being married for 43 years. I learned a few things versus saying, just going on and continuing. Okay, next item. I just want to highlight the article in the Reading Eagle dealing with the airport contract with Quest Diagnostics. This has been something that we've been working on almost since the beginning of January, when the airport took over and became the single fixed-based operator. We inherited a 10-year contract with Quest Diagnostics. Quest has about 11 planes stationed at the Reading Regional Airport. It's on the north ramp, which is on the side that the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum is located. And that's huge. They are our largest aviation customer by far, both in the number of planes as well as the fuel. And so we signed a 29-year deal with the option of a 15-year extension. But more importantly, it also includes the option to expand, actually double the size of the operation. So we're very, very excited about that big step. And all I will say is stay tuned. We're working on some other big things at the airport. You already mentioned the upcoming 2 different career fairs. I encourage people to put those on your calendar. And then want to close with highlighting the passing of 2 very significant individuals in Berks County. First, former Judge Linda Ludgate. Very interesting. When my wife and I moved to Berks County, we moved to Maiden Creek. And I remember Judge Ludgate, when she ran for judge, we had a Maiden Creek Township group that we put together, and she was one of the first speakers that ever came to our group. That was the first time that I met her. And then obviously when I took office, Judge Ludgate was already a judge, and she served this county well. She served the courts well. I give my sympathy to the Ludgate family. A lot of people know the Ludgate family through Ludgate Engineering, but just a very, very strong influence here in Berks County government, in particular in the courts, and wanted to recognize her passing. The other individual is former Berks County Commissioner Ernie Miller. I knew Ernie Miller back when he ran, and the one thing I think I will never forget, the most unusual political, I don't know if it was a mailer, but it was a handout, had a little cartoon of a man standing out in the middle of a field, and it said, Ernie Miller, outstanding in his field. Now, Ernie Miller was a farmer, and it fit. And it probably was the description. And Christine, you worked with Ernie Miller. Ernie Miller was as down to earth as it came. I know Ernie and his second wife, Elaine, for over 30 years. We've been members, my wife and I, and Ernie and Elaine, with the Virginville Grange, very, very active in the Grange. But what's kind of tough here is the Miller clan, the Miller brothers, are disappearing off the scene. Paul Miller, his brother, passed away in the spring. I want to say in late April, somewhere in that time. And now Ernie, they don't make them like that anymore. So my sympathy for Ernie and his, not Ernie, but for Ernie's family, for Elaine, for the children. I believe the commissioners, I know the 2 of us, but I believe Commissioner Rivera may be planning. Virginville Grange is having a special memorial next Wednesday at 1 p.m. I'll be there for that. But Ernie is definitely going to be missed. Real down-to-earth guy. And I remember when I was running and talking to him, he helped me out. He said, I'll help you out, but I don't know why in the world you would want to do this. It's not an easy thing. And he learned that very much. I don't know. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but anything, do you want to say anything, Christine? Because you're, I think, really only connection to Ernie's sitting in, well, Larry would be too.
I worked with Ernie when he was Judge Lieberman's judicial
Oh, really?
coordinator. And this was after he lost the election and was working in the courts afterwards. This is when I first came to the county in 1996. And what was very shocking to me is I didn't know his backstory. Having moved to Berks County from Bucks County, I wasn't necessarily familiar with the political scene here in Berks County. And when I was informed by the staff there that he was a former county commissioner, I was shocked because he wasn't pretentious whatsoever. He was a very down-to-earth, humble person. He was hardworking. He was so compassionate and willing to show me the ropes in terms of paperwork and the like. And he was just really a class act.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't know, Larry, you want to say anything?
Yeah, just if I might, a couple of things that I remember about Ernie. One was he had a great sense of humor, had a tremendous laugh, and he loved to laugh. He loved to joke and kid around. And I remember coming up when I worked in the district attorney's office at the time, we were making a request for office space. And he said, well, we have to separate our wants from our needs. And that stuck with me forever. And I just heard Kevin Barnhart, my colleague, said the same thing a couple of days ago. And I said, that'll always attribute that to Ernie Miller. So he will be missed.
Absolutely. Any comments from any of our row officers?
I don't have any at this time, Commissioner, but I'm sure my colleagues do here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to let the board know, and you probably do already, but we got issued our annual comprehensive financial report. And so we're happy to announce that that is now posted on the controller's website for 2023.
And is that ZNA?
Yes. Yeah. And because we had new auditors this year, we had to request an extension, and so it's available online to download. If any of the commissioners would like a hard copy, let me know and we'll.
Online's fine for me, Joe.
Okay. The other part of that was that we also had finished our single audit report that is posted to our website as well. And we are currently working on these two obviously are required by statute. But we also have, my predecessor had a friendly, understandable financial statement. And it looks like the last time that the department produced that was in 2020. So we should have a 2023 one coming out here shortly. And really that's just for the public. It just kind of breaks it down. It's a little simpler than reading, this entire
layman's terms.
Yeah, a little bit more friendlier as it's titled. For the public. So that is, two of those are available on the controller's website. So berkspa.gov, then it would be controller's office. And then on the left-hand side, they would be able to access the financial reporting. So just wanted to share that. And our team is already working on our deadlines for 2025 for the 2024 audit. And so hopefully we'll get this announcement to you sooner next year than now, but thank you.
Joe, just want to say, I think you're doing a very good job. I've been impressed with your focus on what we need to do, making some changes as you and your team deem necessary. Just keep it up. It's a very important role in the county.
Well, thank you very much, and our team appreciates those comments, I'm sure, as well. And we'll stay focused on what we're here to do, and it's not the it's the accounting side of things, so it's not quite as glamorous as some other row offices have. But we're here to do that job, and glad to be here to do it. And thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Fred.
I'm going to pass this over to JD. We're going to announce some joint projects, but before I do, I just want to point out the audience might have a question about a 29-year lease and why do they pick 29 years? And in the world of recorder of deeds, we record those leases, and if it's 30 or more years, we must collect real estate transfer.
That's correct.
So we commonly see these 29-year, 11 and a half months leases, and that's the reason why they do that.
That is a very good point, Fred, because
no one has ever explained to me how they'll have 5-year extensions to each of that after the 29 years.
Yeah, those are fine.
I don't know who the
Yeah, those are
Leases
fine
have to-
because they are optional.
They're optional.
And they give them the right to renew at that point in
Yeah.
time. It isn't an automatic extension. The reality is, and I'm glad you brought that up, most of these businesses would love a 50 or 100-year
Right.
lease
Yeah, but they don't.
because it gives them a longer time to get their ROI,
Yeah,
but we won't do that. 29 years is the max.
okay. All right, I'm going to pass this. Oh, you got.
Thanks, commissioners. The real reason the four of us are here, we were going to audition to be the U.S. Olympic team's 4x400 relay team, the next Olympics. And
There's a lot of sports I could
I was going to be
envision.
the anchor.
That is an
I was
anchor.
gonna say to be the
Yeah.
anchor.
I'm
Bring
not
it
even going
home
to go
to
there.
the USA, but Larry Medalli talked me out of it. Said that
Why? He's going to be the anchor?
he's a coach. He's the coach.
Okay.
But, a couple things that Fred and I have been working on. One of them, courtesy of the General Assembly of Pennsylvania, which we're very happy with. Back in 2021 and 2022, notaries public in Pennsylvania, once you're approved, I don't know the process, but once you're approved to be a notary public in Pennsylvania, you have to visit two row offices in the county, the recorder of deeds to get your bond, your oath, and your commission recorded. And then you have to visit the prothonotari's office to register your official signature, because we issue certifications on those signatures. Luckily, thanks to PROTA, the Pennsylvania Recorder of Deeds Association, and the Pennsylvania State Association of Prothonotaries and Clerks of Courts, which I proudly serve on as the treasurer. Both of those organizations lobbied through the local government commission up in Harrisburg, the legislature, and the law was changed at the end of 2022 to allow the recorder of deeds to register the signature and then transmit it to us for us to hold, as well as collect our fee, and then transmit the fee to us as well. As soon as Fred got into office this year, within days, we were discussing how we can make this happen. The law went into effect at the end of 2022, but it was impossible before Fred got in to make it happen. Once Fred did get in, we began negotiations right away, and starting Tuesday, actually, October 1st, notaries now in Berks County just need to go to Fred's office. They will record their oath, their bond, their commission, and they will register their signature now. Fred will collect his fee, my fee, and then at the end of each month, transmit our fee to us, as well as the signatures that we can hold then to issue certifications as needed. So it's it's a very efficient way. From what I understand, and Fred, correct me if I'm wrong, some counties, the prothonotary and the recorder of deeds are in separate buildings. Some of these notaries around Pennsylvania would go to one building, then they'd have to make a trip to another building to do the signature. Fred approached me and we said, absolutely, let's do it. So that is now in effect in Pennsylvania, starting the 1st of October. Another initiative that Fred and I had begun to discuss before he took his little hiatus from the county, unfortunately, was getting the sheriff deed books scanned and imaged. The prothonotary's office holds the sheriff deed books. We get a lot of researchers that come in, especially title work and people researching their property. Fred and I discussed this before he left office previously, and we were making plans then to engage, but unfortunately, that did not happen. It had to wait a little longer. As soon as Fred got back in, as soon as we discussed the notary change, we immediately made plans to proceed with the scanning of the sheriff deed books. Fred has graciously funded that. They were picked up a few months ago. They have been scanned now. Fred and his office are working to catalog and index them, but it was very gracious because he also is giving the prothonotary's office a copy of those images as well. So once again, if a researcher, and Fred is officially passing me the thumb drive of the images. Fred and I know Fred is very involved with preserving the historical images in his office as well as I. I'm very happy that we're just about at 1 million digital images, 1 million pages of historical records that are at the archives have been digitized while I've been in, and it's something I'm very, very proud of. But now if a researcher comes to my office, they can get the images. We don't have to break open books, push them on photocopiers, potentially damaging the spines, damaging the pages. We can get all that done. And so I'd like to publicly thank Fred for that, and for funding it and for working with us in that endeavor. A couple more things.
Real quick, that's funded through the
Record improvement.
or our records, because there's two records
Right,
improvement.
right.
Yeah.
The recorder's record improvement.
So and that's
Yeah.
important because Fred has sole responsibility for that particular fund, and he could have said, "No, I'm not going to do that." So, thank you, Fred.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's tremendous. And again, it's getting records preserved. Paper does not last forever, as a lot of people know. And to get these things imaged, it's just a win-win for everybody. Two quick other things. I'd like to wish October is Italian Heritage Month, so I would like to wish my Italian friends, Commissioner Santoni, Deputy COO Medaglia. Fred Sheeler is of Italian ancestry, and I'm glad he's here because Fred's great-grandfather was an Italian court interpreter here in the 30s, into the 40s.
Yeah, just from the 20s.
From the 20s, and a lot of people don't realize, but we did have interpreters going all the way back then because Berks County the Italians were coming in and they needed translation as they were beginning to learn English and assimilate into American culture. So, and there's an actual picture down that Fred donated when the Prothonotary office did our historical images a few years back now. Now it's like 5. Old pictures of the courthouse, of the previous courthouse that stood on the footprint of the courthouse. Fred graciously donated an image of the last seating of the Berks County Court before they tore down the courthouse, the previous courthouse. And his great-grandfather is in the picture. Everybody's in the photo. I mean, literally, they took the photo, got everybody out of the courthouse, and started demolition. Because the old courthouse was demolished in about 28 days and the new courthouse was built in about 23 months. Amazing.
I have a bone to pick. You missed somebody else. Isn't Sardinia considered part of the Italian?
Yeah.
I'm 2%.
2% Sardinia.
I pulled it up just to make sure. I'm on Ancestry.com. I'm 2%.
So, I mean, I know that Commissioner Santoni and I and Larry we're going to lobby, instead of having a pancake breakfast this year for the holidays, maybe we could have a spaghetti dinner, some menegat, some meatballs. I mean,
That's always good with me. You know that. You got.
I have one last thing to say, if you would indulge me. I want to thank my solicitor. I told her to please watch, so if she's watching, I'm very happy. Susan De Niro, Esquire, is my solicitor. She was recently honored with the CASA of Berks County's 2024 Individual Champion for Children Award. I am ashamed to say I really did not know much about CASA of Berks County. CASA of Berks County is the court-appointed special advocates. It's an independent nonprofit. It served as a voice in the courtroom for abused and neglected foster children. CASA recruits and trains concerned citizens that don't have to be lawyers, concerned citizens to serve as volunteer child advocates known as CASA volunteers. They meet with the child's family members, with their doctors, their teachers, and their foster parents, if in that case, and they ensure that the judge in the case is aware of all the facts to make the best determination for that child's future. CASA's mission is to restore the well-being of each child who faces abuse, neglect, and/or abandonment, and ensure that the eminent right to a safe, nurturing, and permanent home and a chance at a very healthy and empowered adulthood. Today, the CASA network in the United States is more than 951 programs in 49 states. They recruit, train, and support volunteers to represent the best interests of abused and neglected children in the courtroom. Susan has been a practicing attorney for over 30 years. She handles guardianship, she handles adoption, state and family law matters. She's also appointed by judges here on the bench to serve as guardian ad litem for children in high conflict custody, adoption, abuse, and family law related cases. I just saw her yesterday. She was in an adoption case with Judge Bucci, another well-esteemed Italian-American in Berks County. Susan served on many community boards. She's currently the chair of the board of directors of the Berks County Community Foundation. Most importantly for me, and from a selfish aspect, she's been the Prothonotary Office solicitor for 31 years. And to my knowledge, she's the longest serving solicitor for an elected row officer in county history. She began with my predecessor, Marianne Sutton, back in 1993. So I really think that Susan's work, she has definitely made an improvement and an impression and has helped very many vulnerable children in Berks County. She's very deserving of the Champion for Children Award. And I just wanted to come here today and recognize her for her work at the commissioners meeting so that the commissioners and the rest of the county can know that that there are people like that making a real difference for in-need children here in Berks County. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much. With that, public comment, there's none online, none in person.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we adjourn.
I'll second that. Meeting stands adjourned.